Hey parents, this is Nathan Dewey, teaching your kids in Bible and having a great time as we go through the book of Joshua. But I want to give you a heads up about something we started today, Wednesday, in class. Um, One of the things that comes up a lot of times when students go to college, when they're exposed to different viewpoints, especially those which are skeptical to the Bible, skeptical to the biblical worldview, there'll be a lot of questions about the way God's depicted in the Old Testament. And we see some of the examples of this in Joshua. And so your students are embarking on a project where I'm trying to help direct them and help them think through and process what they would say and how they respond if people would want to frame God as a violent God, a vindictive God, based on some of what happens in the conquest when Joshua and the Israelites come into the promised land and they remove the Canaanites who were there. Part of this project will involve them getting some exposure to the biblical passages, which they've started and they're going to dig into tomorrow. There's also going to be exposure to some Christian apologists who've written from a number of different perspectives on how to understand and interpret some of these passages that can be tricky or even kind of challenging for our faith. But we're starting at the end of Joshua chapter 6 and kind of unpacking what this means for ourselves. There's also going to be online dialogue with other students. And there's going to be a chance at the end where they can kind of say, here's how I think I'd respond when this question was asked to me. It could be a challenging time for many students. Maybe they didn't even realized how serious these claims about God's character are. Maybe they've never even realized some of these things are in the Bible that they have to wrestle with about God's judgment on the wicked and things like that. But I wanted you to be aware of that. I want you to know that for the next 8 or 9 days, that's something they'll be working on in and out of class. And feel free to ask them questions. If you have questions about how God is depicted in some of the pages of the Old Testament, maybe it's a great time to engage them and to kind of bring them in and learn together with them. But I'm always here as a resource. You can always email me with any questions you have, and I appreciate partnering with you here at Grace.